For the first time since MENA officially joined the RLCS, a champion has been crowned in a regional event that did not include one of TRK, Rawas, or Kiileerrz. And that's all the way back to the 21-22 season. TRK has certainly been the most dominant player in the region's history, and this surprising loss came at the hands of the strongest opponent that TRK and company, different companies, have had in the region's history, bringing over some strong imports in Rise and AtomiK. AtomiK, of course, one of the strongest strikers in European Rocket League over the last couple of seasons, and Rise, a player who I had as a top 5 player in the world 2 seasons back, and it seemed like the Carmine Core squad that they had assembled last season was going to be the strongest in the world. Of course, we all remember what happened there with them missing a regional, but this isn't a video about Carmine Core, is it? This is about how Twisted Minds, who just dusted Falcons to the ball here in this game 5 of the grand finals, were able to do it. We're on Nwpo point of view, Nwpo point of view, who had himself a series. Nwpo's always had the talent, but the unfortunate thing about his situation up until this season is that his opposition in Team Falcons had all the talent. You know, they have the twins, and of course TRK decides to join them, and now reinforcements have showed up for Nwpo, who had 37 shots in this series, which led all 6 of the players. For a little frame of reference, second place for Ross, 22 shots. So Nwpo was popping off, and in games 1 and 2, the twins were really rolling. They outshot Twisted Minds outscored Twisted Minds 11-1. The twins were rolling, and it just kind of seemed like business as usual for them. Some solo goals off of steals, you know, Rawas, and oh my goodness, we got to look back at this one real quick. Ross trying to get this over here. Rise is going to pop it. Nobody up for this one, and just too much inertia behind it there from Nwpo to put them back in the lead here on Aquadome. A lot of solo goals, especially off steals. Rawas and Kiileerrz both had solo dunks that led to easy goals. Rawas with an open field layup off a double commit from Twisted Minds. And, you know, it seemed like it would just be one of those situations where, you know, Twisted Minds gave it their best effort, but Rise was having some issues with his visa, or I believe it was his passport, I heard. And he's playing on 120 ping, and get him next time, you know? And especially when Falcons are hitting shots like this, which is what they've been known for and what made them seem like they were the best in the world last season. Look at this passing play that they're about to set up here. Kiileerrz, perfect off the dime. And then do you guys mind if we watch this back from their point of views real quick just to see how crisp this pass is? Let's find Kiileerrz here. Look at that, getting so much power and TRK on the alpha wheels here, just with perfect placement. Doesn't lose any speed on this ball, just cranks that one, and Rise a little too far upfield, is unable to get back to that one. But let's hop back over to Nwpo point of view here. The Falcons started to show cracks in game 3. Passes that weren't connecting with one another led to some turnovers and some pretty pointless goals, low boost, scrambling on defense, especially TRK, who struggled not only in game 3 to find boost and kind of was stuck defensively for a while, but also in game 7 really struggled to find boost there as well for, you know, 30 seconds at a time. It felt like he just could not find anything. Game 4, Twisted Minds really opened up the scoring. They start off the game with a double commit by Falcons, just leading to an easy goal there, and Rise is going to get the bump and then drop this off perfectly to Nwpo. Right place, right time. And that's also really when Nwpo started to open up offensively in that game 4 as well. Game 1, 3 shots. Game 2, 0 shots. Games 3 and 4, 8 shots a pop. And then in game 5, kept it going with 6. TRK had 800 points in that game, by the way, that game 4 with no goals. And look at this from AtomiK. You know, this is the little stuff that you're really looking for him to do. we'll do some car ratings at the end of the video, but I'm liking this. Look at that. I mean, a little fortunate you might call it, but that's really what AtomiK was doing this whole series, just the little things. In that game 3, he had a really nice cut to catch Rawas off guard and lead to a goal there. Gets that big save. Has a pretty incredible game 7 as well. And this result is exciting for a lot of reasons, but I want to start with the fact that, for this Twisted Minds team, they're just not afraid of anybody. And that's kind of been the rub on MENA and by extension South America for a while. That was a crisp shot there to tie up the scoring. Let's find our way back onto Nwpo point of view. Why don't we? Falcons have just kind of big brothered the region for so long that it seemed like they had no competition, just running people over, to the point where it was kind of like, why really invest that much time in watching? We kind of know the results. The same went for the E-League. This is the first time that, we could talk about how there was competition when TRK and the Twins were on opposite sides of one another, which is good and well. But now that they are together as a trio, it's the first time that there's been opposition to a team that wasn't composed of one of the 3 of those players. And, I had this team rated a little lower than I have them now, of course. And what even happened here? Is this just a weird read that Kiileerrz isn't able to get a handle on? AtomiK pops this. Kiileerrz just flat-footed. What's TRK doing on this? The drop down, nobody's really there. Just a great cut. TRK was kind of waiting. I guess it's Kiileerrz who gets caught out. Sorry, we'll look back at this one more time and then keep it rolling and our thoughts on what this series means. Oh, this is, remember when I talked about that cut that AtomiK had? Here it is. I forgot it was in this game. Watch this. Look, Kiileerrz thinks he has so much time. Just that little doink. Perfect. Right over to Nwpo, who pounces on it immediately. And he was going so fast this whole series. But this Twisted Minds team, I've definitely increased where I have them rated just because I was concerned what they would look like on the defensive end. A player like Rise, who does so much to make it difficult on the opposition, whether it be bumps, physical plays, cuts, making it hard to get crisp communication, which is something that Falcons have really thrived off of. He makes that really difficult, although he does get caught out defensively quite a few times in this series especially. And as we're going to find ground here, Nwpo is our MVP, and Twisted Minds are en route to, of course, winning this series. Rise is the main reason that I think that they're not afraid of anybody. He's been there. He's done that. AtomiK has been to a couple lands at this point as well, although most of his S tier results came from Season X when we weren't having any international events. And, Nwpo is somebody who has challenged since his inception into the RLCS. So I'm excited to see what this team ends up looking like. This Twisted Minds team really puts it together on the offensive end. I mean, you go back and look at the scores of these games. When they find it offensively, they really find it. And to be able to find it against a team like Falcons, who have made some of the best teams in the world look like they are playing without headsets, like they're not even talking to each other. This is really impressive for them. And again, just to drive home the fact that Rise was on awful ping and still able to do what he was doing. Ultimately, I think that this is good for the Falcons as well, to finally have somebody to push them. Great series. Excited to see what Open 3 looks like. I think we're going to learn a lot about these teams coming into Birmingham from that event. Again, great series by Twisted Minds. Very well played. If Nwpo can go like this offensively, they're going to be a real threat, especially with Rise being able to create an AtomiK doing really, really well to fill in the gaps. What do you guys anticipate from these teams? Do you think that Twisted Minds are actually a threat once we get to Birmingham? Let me know in the comments below. Guys, until next time, take it easy.